Hey, what is up, guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today, honestly, so I was just for fun. Well, I call it for fun, but also for learning. I was just going through, I'm personally just such a big fan of Tundra. Obviously, it's easy to be a fan of Tundra after they won TI. But I was looking through all their matches. I was just kind of going through their matches, going through their drafts, and kind of just like looking for patterns, anomalies, just looking through the bans, because I personally draft for my team. Not to say that I don't take the opinions of my teammates. We're constantly talking to each other, but I like to have my own ideas, and I like to have a pretty firm grasp of what other people think, so I can, implement them all together and tie things together. And this game, I haven't watched it yet, but I wanted to watch it with you guys. I thought it would be a lot of fun. We're going to be watching Skiter's gameplay, because the reason why is this draft caught my eye. It looked very normal, very standard. How it opened was Doom and Lich were picked into Marcy. I wouldn't say Doom is a Marcy counter. I think Tundra just thinks Doom is a broken hero. Okay, that's fine. Nothing too crazy there. Lich is good against Marcy because the Frost Armor is good against her ulti. That's about it. That's really about it. I'm pretty sure that's the main reason why you would pick Lich into Marcy. You also lane pretty decent against Marcy, which is okay too. So you lane and you have a good matchup against Marcy. The Doom, they think the hero's broken, responded to by a Lone Druid. Lone Druid's pretty good against Doom. If you can't Doom the bear, I think. Why would you Doom the bear? You're probably not going to Doom the bear. If you Doom the main hero, he lifesteals with the bear. He can live through it. There you go, right? Pretty reasonable. However, as the draft was rounding out, everything was pretty reasonable, right? Everything seemed normal. Your Pango, your Hoodwink, nothing crazy. They last pick a Wraith King, and I was like, I don't really get it, right? I really don't get it. I think it was even picked into Invoker, right? Which you have to, to be fair, the mana burn isn't too bad. You can buy your shard, and usually you can get around it with stick or something of the sort. But I will say it was weird. So I'm like, okay, I want to watch this game and see why they pick a hero that I think is off meta. It's not a bad hero. I honestly believe that the skeleton talents are unbelievably good. I hope he takes them. He might not take the level 15 talent. I personally love it. The reason why is it makes your skeletons do about double the damage, which is pretty crazy, right? Double the damage. And these skeletons, they're pretty good in team fights because they respawn. So even if someone nukes them out, they'll just respawn and then retarget someone, often a support, which they can solo kill. And they're incredibly good for sieging towers without having to commit to the tower. They're good for farming. I feel like they do everything. However, 0.7 seconds of a stun is often too good to pass up. It nearly makes Wraith King stun a 3-second stun, which is pretty damn good. But yeah, let's see how this plays out. I really didn't understand the pick because I don't think Wraith King's good against Marcy. I don't. I think Marcy can do damage during the Wraith King ulti, and after he respawns, she can continue to punch him. I think the Brew ulti's fine against Wraith King to kite him out. It doesn't really seem like particularly Wraith King counters Brew ulti. I guess if you have Reincarnation, you can live Primal Split if he dives you with it. That's all I can think of. I don't think Wraith King's good against Lone Druid from first glance. The reason why is the bear does infinite damage. It's just a right-click unit, you know what I mean? It's not like you run out of damage. It's not like a Chrono, right? Where it's like one and done, right? Void is much weaker without Chrono. Not completely, but, you get the point. Lone Druid doesn't have that problem. And Invoker also doesn't really have that problem. Invoker is pretty consistent with Cold Snaps in, 9 spells. It's fine against Disruptor, I guess, right? I could see being okay against Disruptor, but I just didn't, I don't get it. So I want to see how this game plays out. It was an absolute stomp. He had a great game. He has a great game. Now, to be fair, 33 pops off this game 10-0. I'm actually going to watch the game after I record this video from his perspective. Maybe I'll record it and post it too. I don't know. I kind of want to just watch it because I think his Doom gameplay is insane. And I want to learn the hero. Even if it gets nerfed, I want to learn it. But, okay. Either way, getting into the lane. So, I don't think this should be some really great lane. I think Brew's not great against the skeletons. Disruptor's horrible against the skeletons because you're a low armor range hero that's pretty slow. He bought Windlace to kind of deal with it, but you get destroyed. The skeleton, this could be a great lane. I will admit, the Lich Wraith King lane is really good. When you build up those skeletons and then you have 2 slows or 2 disables from Lich, potentially even 3 with the skeletons, things get hard, especially for these low armor heroes. And, to be fair, melee heroes don't do as bad against skeletons, but Brew is a low armor hero, right? 2 armor is really bad, and so he could struggle. So we'll see the skeleton build. Nothing too crazy, pretty standard. You're playing the early waves just to CS, get up your skeletons, and go from there. So pretty standard, nothing crazy here. Going for a 3 mango build. So this is something I think mangoes are a broken item, straight up. I think mangoes are broken. He's playing this lane from a sustained perspective, which makes sense against Disruptor Brew. They chip. They will never burst you from full. You'll never die from full in this lane. They're going to try to chip you down. So the mango stick seems like an appropriate response to that. He's also auto-attacking the wave a little bit to heal up. I wonder if he'll do it here or if he'll prioritize keeping the wave back. Yeah, he's actually going to aggro onto the range and not actually auto-attack the wave. He'll let it stay alive and sort of static the wave to some extent. And immediately as the 2 skeletons come out, they're going to send him onto the brew. And this is what I mean. It seems very like, oh, you know, it's whatever. It's just 2 skeletons. It's not, right? You're going to get bullied off a full wave, which is why I love that TUNDRA makes this play. Wraith King players don't do this shit. All you got to do is get your support and say, hey, I got 2 skeletons. Go stun this guy. Go slow him. Whatever it is, go nuke him. It doesn't matter. Just go do something. I have skeletons. These things are straight up broken early game. Like, there's no other way to put it. Okay, why is the brew not here? Please, Dota replays, work with me. Okay. So the Brew's here, he stuns him, and now from Brew's perspective, he's just going to get completely owned, right? 1 Lich Nuke, and the skeletons chase you out of lane. You have to run back to tower. If you don't, you get zoned out by them. You have to run back to tower, then they respawn, they mess with the wave a little bit. Alright, whatever, that's not even good. But you get the point, he gets zoned off, and all the meanwhile, Wraith King can just do whatever he wants, right? He can control the wave. And, with these heroes that can't, it's not like a Tide who can ignore them, or an Axe who can ignore them for the most part. You're going to get crushed by them. You don't want to have to use your high meta spells on Brew to deal with skeletons, and so it becomes an infinite problem. So I will say I didn't even think about that, but that could be kind of the reason. Even here, we'll see them go into Toby again. Pretty decent trade for the side of Entity, actually, overall. But as the lane progresses and he can eventually get to 4 skeletons, things will be tough. So I definitely expect the CS to be in his favor. You can see it absolutely is. It's very easy to last hit as a melee hero with good damage and a quelling. Especially, he rushed Blades of Attack, so really playing to make sure he doesn't miss any last hits. Interesting, okay. So really playing for last hits. He knows he's not going to get pressured too hard in this lane. It's a pretty easy matchup at this point. So now with the phase boots, typically what you'll see is they'll use the critical strike off cooldown on the offlaner. That's a very common habit I see with this level of Wraith King, right, at this high level. So maybe, I mean, to be fair, when you're in a 2v1, you're not going to play aggressive. That would be kind of stupid. For now, he's building up skeletons, and I would personally like to see them try to kill Disruptor. The Disruptor would die very easily if they can get on top of him. But, it's not that easy to get on top of him. So, for now, playing the wave, uncontested. Actually, summon skeletons here. Why? Why summon 4 skeletons casually? It's going to completely shove the wave. It's going to put pressure with the cart. Is that the reason? So he considers pulling, but can't make it in time. I'm not really sure why he summoned skeletons. I mean, it does let the cart hit the tower quite a bit. There's that. I mean, that's all it really does, right? It didn't do that much damage. I wouldn't say it, helped him jungle or anything, so I don't really see why exactly he did it there, besides the fact that he had a cart. So it did get some tower pressure. Maybe it's as simple as that. Perhaps it wasn't fully thought out. I don't know exactly why, but okay, he's got the stakes. He should be fine here. Okay, they actually almost killed him. And he even went for a second point in the Mortal Strike. Not what I would expect. Usually you see a third point in the Skeletons, because typically you can build up 6 Skeletons. But he'll go for the second point in the Strike, holding the point in the ulti. I kind of expect him to take it in this lane. I mean, that was one of my concepts on why they would pick the hero. A lot of carry players get completely zoned out by Brew 6. Wraith King's not one of those heroes, because you can ulti, right? And you can have 2 lives, and you can essentially trade your ulti for the Brew ulti. And I would say that's a pretty fine trade. So I will say the lane matchup's clearly working it out. The Wraith King completely free farms and dumpsters the Brew in CS, doubling his CS, right? Completely sharding on the Brew. Is now going to go for the small camp. So I like this play. A lot of the time, safe laners don't know when to jungle. It's just when you can't easily pressure the off laner. And in this case, without the Lich, he's not going to pressure the Brew at all. So he probably will have to ult here because he's trying to save it. He only wants to have to ult if they primal split, right? So they'll actually go for the kill. Now he might skill it. He'll probably skill it here. There you go. Okay, so that makes sense, right? I didn't think of it like that, but now the Brew split is probably half duration, and he's not going to be able to kill you a second time, at least not alone. So there you go. Okay, I mean, that's cool to me, right? I mean, that has to be a big part of it. You're not going to pick a hero randomly at TI, so okay, that's cool. I know I keep saying that, but I'm like, I theorized it could be the case, but I've never seen this matchup approached like that. in the past, personally, I've never seen it. So that's cool. And they're going to smoke? So the purpose of this play is, I would imagine, is Doom can't take bottom tower alone, right? Doom can't take bottom tower alone. So if you kill bottom, you can summon skeletons. But now he's wrong. Very bizarre. So, okay, they're going to swing the map. I guess maybe they feel like they can't fight. I don't know exactly. I think with the reincarnation, he's afraid of being ganked, perhaps. So he just wants to get out of the top side of the map. Because usually, just for some perspective, guys, usually at this point in the game, you're going to jungle the jungle. You're gonna take this camp, this camp, this camp, and then this camp, right? You're just going to chill. It's not what he does, right? He clears this out. So he clears this out with his armlet. And then you would expect, right, you would expect him to finish this camp, take this camp. Was he afraid of a gank? I mean, Invoker, Disruptor are missing. Was he afraid of a smoke? Okay, I mean, they weren't smoked, but I don't know. I don't know. I mean, maybe they thought they could kill bottom and enable the Doom's game, right, by taking the tower, right? If you take this bottom tower, it makes it way safer for Doom to play the bottom side of the map. So that's one thing I could imagine, right? That could be the perspective of their gameplay. That's the only thing I can really imagine, right? Other than that, I really don't know. I know I'm repeating myself, but I'm trying to figure it out here. They will get the bottom tower now. He doesn't have his ulti, so maybe he just wanted to get out of top. To be fair, the enemy team does have a pretty early game comp, right? Lone Druid's pretty early game oriented, potentially, right? You can group up with Lone Druid ulti and take the tower. You can definitely go with Brew ulti. Brew ulti's one of the best abilities in the game, but it was sort of on cooldown at the moment he TP'd, I thought. But okay, he's going to give Doom the bottom side of the map. He's going to rotate back to his jungle here. It has to be a little bit afraid of a gank, but he does have the ulti, so he's probably pretty happy to farm towards mid lane, even potentially tank a gank for his team, as actually the Penguin's going to get caught bottom. Good play from Entity there. But, okay. Nothing crazy happening here. Jungling the jungle. Sees that they went bottom, so he's going to pretty comfortably move into here because he thinks that they're bottom. They'll actually find a kill on the Disruptor. Oh, no. Good save. Can armlet toggle at the last moment. There you go. Maybe he can get the toggle here. Should be pretty easy with only an Earth Panda around. Yeah, okay. He'll be able to toggle, and they get the kill. So, moves in, kind of takes the gank, initiates. It's a good play from Skiter, right? He understands his job is he can be the first point of contact. You don't want to get caught out where you just insta-die. Like, that's shitty. But the optimal scenario is something like this, where you get gone on, but Hoodwink can kind of counter-initiate, right? You don't get gone on by 5 heroes. He knew some heroes were at least slightly bottom, and they can fully respond with Tundra. They show up with absolutely everyone here. They don't overcommit on Tundra. They stay together. And they just take the free brew kill after Skiter's able to live. Even if reincarnation was expended, it would have been, you know, overall a net positive trade. So really great stuff there. I like that. I feel like he even was kind of baiting to some extent because he understands that, you know, his team is in the area and can respond. So Deso is up. This is typically a time in which you would fight. And once again, a very, very active style of gameplay from Skiter. Not necessarily what I would expect. And the reason why I say that is the bottom side of the map is completely open. It's completely open. Yeah, Pango shoves out a wave, but it's open, right? This you can farm all of this, especially if Pango is going to leave the area, which, okay, he doesn't. To be fair, it almost seems like he prioritizes letting his mid laner take the farm instead of kicking him out. He almost says, okay, I'm strong. I can get active here. My Pango's already bottom. I'll just let him do it, right? And we want to fight. Whoa, wow. That crit was half of the guy's HP. That's crazy. Yeah, I guess he just feels like with the Deso timing he's online, right? Because Wraith King is not a carry which you want to AFK farm with for too long. And the reason why is your hero definitely falls off late game. Like, if I had to choose between, you know, like a Lone Druid late game or a Wraith King, I'd generally choose, like, Lone Druid. I would definitely choose, like, Drow or TB or anything like this, right? There's just so many heroes that outscale you. In this game, I think you can get kited pretty hard late game. Definitely can get kited hard late game. So getting active on the Deso, that kind of makes sense, right? So he hits the Deso, instantly smokes with his Lich, and they try to get him active on his timing. And that kind of works out here, right? It definitely works out. All right, so once again, we're going to see him kind of playing around mid. He's going to shove out the mid wave. It seems like he's kind of telling his team, like, hey, I'm shoving out mid. You know, you guys can look for a kill. That's not exactly what happens. So instant kill the Wind Panda. Decides to stun the Wind Panda and take it out. From there, he's going to go onto the Lone Druid. Can they really kill LD? That's a tanky-ass hero. Apparently, it's no problem. How? LD just dies from full? Even with the bear hitting, was the bear not hitting? Oh, the bear got disarmed. It got disarmed and then bushwhacked. No healing comes out. Wow, and the LD just dies. It's insane. I mean, at this point, they're 9k ahead. The game is starting to snowball in a really, really impactful way. I mean, things are starting to get really, really hard. As he's going to jump mid. And, okay, let's see what he does next. So he picked up Blink Dagger, which kind of makes me think he's not really looking to just, like, scale. I mean, you can scale with Blink. Right. Keep in mind, by the way, he didn't max out the Vampiric Aura. He actually took the other abilities, maxed them out, left it at 6 skeletons, which I guess kind of makes sense. You typically don't get much more than 6 skeletons. But I do want to mention he did take the level 10 talent at level 10. I think this talent is non-negotiable. I think it's completely, like, if you're going to play this hero, you largely play it around the skeleton talent because it lets you stay active. Now, with how the game is going, he's going to probably take stun at 15. You know, he's being very active, just trying to kill heroes, not really, like, split the map or, like, flash farm necessarily. So, yeah, he's going to take the stun at 15, as we see here. So, I'm not surprised. It kind of matches up with his active gameplay, trying to kill people. I think if the game's a bit more passive and you're pushing in waves more and scaling a bit, you can kind of do your thing. But, this is classic Wraith King. And on this Deso timing, your hero is a menace, right? It's a menace because it's a guaranteed PA crit, right? It's a guaranteed PA crit on your first hit, and then bada bing, bada boom. Didn't even have to stun him. Technically a wasted stun there. So Skiter is just a garbage player. What can you do? But he'll kite out. Okay, actually a good fight from Entity, so he'll have to kite out, have to disengage. Dead Hoodwink, Dead Lich is able to get the blink off. So good decision making there. Gets the Disruptor, realizes his team is dead. Really, really nice. He'll shift to the bottom side, build up some skeletons here. Probably wants to summon them mid or bottom. So he'll summon them. Okay, they're just going to run to a camp. As he finds Disruptor, they're going to try for the kill. Okay, this looks a little bit sus. He gets the Frost Shield. This is the Frost Shield against the Marcy coming into play here. I just want to quickly mention that. This matchup's fantastic for this reason. Right, usually Marcy just beats through these low armor heroes, right? I mean, with the armlet on, he is 15, but even that's not even that high, right? Even with Aquila. But, you know, with the Frost Shield, this Marcy, I mean, usually she's going to kill you with about 4 bursts. With the Frost Shield, he even basically can man up here, right? Frost Shield comes out, and he can somewhat turn. He's able to live through quite a few more bursts, forcing the Marcy to commit and enabling them to almost turn onto the Marcy. So, yeah, jumping in, frontlining, that's what he wants to do. He's happy to get gone on, and he's just kind of pushing the advantage. The big thing about his jump here is, once again, he knows he can be followed up. And that's a big thing about Dota. You want to, when you jump, you want to make sure it can be followed up. If he can't, you're the problem, right? If you jump in and no one can follow you and no one can get to where you can get to, it's a problem. But Doom could jump in here, nearly gets a 2-man stun. Unfortunately, Marcy does get off for BKB. What can you do? But as I said, you know, the Pango can follow it up. The roll comes out to protect the Wraith King, preserving his first life for as long as possible so that they can't just instantly set up on the second life, right? By so much time on the Pango. Also, in particular, I didn't know this at the time, but Lone Druid ulti is on cooldown. Primal ulti is on cooldown. Sorry, Primal split is on cooldown. Brew ulti is on cooldown. I mean, there's so many cooldowns here, so there's, you know, there's no way he's going to die. There's no way, if it's a 5-on-5, there's no way Tundra loses the fight, right? Or, I think. They're going pretty deep here. So he actually is going to reinitiate. Yeah, goes for the Invoker. Good Deafening Blast. Isn't enough to keep the Invoker alive. It's not. As, wow, that bear is melting. He's even pinging the bear. He's like, kill the bear. Take this shit out. Wow, they get it. Is that the second bear? Oh my god. Wow, I'm surprised he stays mentally in it after that. That's brutal. A 90-second cooldown on the bear. Oh, God. Wow, this game is so over. So he does slow down the pace of the game, summon some skeletons bot, which is always great. Getting the skeletons down side lanes creates so much pressure on the map. So it's really, really wonderful that he does that consistently. But he actually TB's bottom looking for the Brew. They're not going to find him. Unfortunately, they can't catch out the Brew. Once again, they know Brew ulti is on cooldown, so they're really forcing the issue around this as they're going to get a D-Ward mid. Can he just jump Invoker? Okay, he considered it. If the he knows that Invoker has Blink, so he was a bit hesitant to do it. He considered it, though, if Invoker messed up. And he has actually queued up the Shard just to protect against the EMP. No, you know, you don't want to die in some stupid way because you can't, you know, get off your BKB or get off your Reincarnation. and they're just playing this ward fantastic. And here, what I like about Tundra is they understand the boss play here. So even though Doom is top, they know the Doom can connect. And this is, once again, they're on the same page, right? Even though Pango is far, or Pango's really, really far, they understand their advantages. No primal split for a bit, which maybe they didn't know was on a 6-second cooldown, but they're giga ahead, which means you can take a bit more of a risk, and you can play your vision a bit harder. On top of that, they find the lone druid, and there's no save hero on the side of Tundra, right? There's no one who can put him up in the air, who can false promise him. So if you are able to burst him, which is why he specifically aggressively BKBs, then he's just going to die. So this is just good understanding from Skiter about the matchups as well, as they find the brew. Completely dead. Even if he splits, it's not going to do anything. And this game is, yeah, this game is rough. So the Wraith King pick, I guess it kind of punishes some of the greed of Entity. It's not that their heroes are that greedy, but it did well in the lane. It completely crushed the brew in the lane. It really crushed the brew in the lane. I'm honestly surprised, but it really, really did. It dumpstered him in lane. It lived the primal split cooldown, right? So you live the main, one of the main points of brew is to kill the carry on your 6. He used it, got nothing out of it. That feels awful. So there's that, and then the tempo was great. He has the scaling and the Doom and the Pango, so he doesn't have to be the only scaling hero. This Doom is basically a hard carry in the late game, even picking up the Ags on the Doom. This is classic 33. Look at this build. Bots, Octarine, freaking Scorcher, Talents. Will probably take what is he going to take at 20? I hope this game... Oh, does it end before he hits 20? That's kind of sad if it does. I want to see what he takes. Let's quickly watch this fight. It seems like a pretty easy fight from here on out. But they'll go in. You get the jump. AoE Doom is so insane. Especially because it works through BKB and Lincolns. Like, it's so crazy. But, yeah, either way, they'll go in. I don't think anything special here happens. I think he kind of just runs in and gets... He even jumps the bear. He's jumping the first person he sees because, like, he knows as long as the fight initiates and he can get on top of someone and force their HP, Entity is going to crumble. They don't have enough resources to really sacrifice someone. So... Quad buybacks, Lone Druid goes in, actually lives. They'll find the Invoker. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to say. He just literally goes on the first person he sees and then kills everyone. This is not the hard part of Wraith King at all. The hard part is, like, making the right decisions. His movements early game were really crazy. Like, opening up the map for the Doom was nuts. But alright, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm actually probably going to do the Doom game for the website. So if you're subscribed to the gameleap website, keep your eyes out for that. If you're not, I don't know, go subscribe. But also subscribe to this channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this more like chill analysis. I know I'm not like jump cutting. There's probably very little cuts in this video. It's going to be a pretty long video. And that's like going to be the main theme of this channel. If you're not here for that, I really don't expect this channel to blow up anytime soon. I mean, it's been going great, right? But I don't expect this to be like a 200, 300,000 channel anytime. I expect this channel to be like 15,000, 20,000, 30,000 people, even in the next year. I don't expect it to like massively go past those types of numbers because I think this content, it's what I love, right? Like when I make this video, I was literally just going through their games. I'm like, all right, I want to make a video today. You know, because I like making videos, and I'm like, I want to talk. All right, this is really cool. Why did they pick Wraith King? I don't think it's gonna be interesting to everyone. I don't think this long form content is for everyone, but I'm really excited to share this with you guys and like I just build a community around just like loving Dota, regardless of the patches. And you know, there hasn't been a patch in so long. The map hasn't changed, but I don't really care. You know, like yeah, I love patches as much as the next guy, right? I freaking love patch day. Patch day is Christmas, right? It's better than Christmas at this point. But yeah, I mean, still, I love Dota even without patches. It's just a great game. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.